Yeah, so hello everyone and welcome back to our aptitude sessions. And today we will be continuing the topic of deductions. We will be solving more and more problems, or more and more, we'll actually be practicing more and more deductions basically. So let's start. And once again, I've kept the table where the distribution is given. And yeah, we will directly get into problems as we've already done this in the previous session. Table is kept only for reference in today's session. So yeah, moving on to this example, all dogs are cats and all pigs are cats. So your premise one or statement one is all dogs are cats. Your premise two or statement two is all pigs are cats. So tell me what kind of, first tell me what is the what exactly is the subject and predicate in which of the premises and the middle term.
Premise subject is dogs and predicates is cat, and premise 2 subject is pigs and predicates is cats, and the middle term is cat, and this is universal affirmative statement.
Okay,
Both the premises are affirmative,
right. Both
and
are
the subject
universal. Yeah, tell me.
distributed, predicate is not distributed here. That's it,
Right.
ma'am.
Yeah. So very good. Yes, the subject is distributed, predicate is not distributed in both the statements because both are of the same kind. So in your conclusion, which will be your subject in your conclusion?
Dogs,
Right. And your predicate in the conclusion?
pigs.
Right. So
The
now,
conclusion is pigs are pigs.
okay, what kind of statement will be your conclusion?
Universal affirmative.
Both subject and predicate is distributed. So in that case, do you think it is universal affirmative?
No, ma'am. Universal negative.
Right. So it is supposed, yeah, it is supposed to be universal negative where both are distributed. So what will be your conclusion? Universal in the sense it will start with all or every.
All.
Yes.
All
Followed by your subject. And what
Dogs
will be your quantifier?
are not.
are,
R is for positive. We are supposed to get universal
Are not.
negative. Yes, are not.
are not. All dogs are not.
Yes. All dogs are not. Followed by your predicate that is pigs. Fine. All of you are
Yes,
thorough with
ma'am.
this conclusion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll move to the next one. Okay. So the next example, we have premise one, all cats are dogs. Premise two, some cats are pigs. So tell me subject, predicate, middle term in each of the premises and what kind of sentence are they?
Ma'am, first premise is universal affirmative, and the second
Okay.
premise is partial affirmative. And in first premise, cat is subject and dogs are predicates. And in second premise, cats is subject and pigs are predicates. And the middle term is are.
Middle
Sorry,
term, middle
cats,
term is yes,
cat.
right. Okay, so when it comes to your conclusion, what will be your subject and what will be your predicate?
Subject will be dogs and predicates will be pigs.
Six.
Right. And what is the distribution of the subject and predicate when it comes to the premises given?
Ma'am, I got confused here.
Is okay. First premise is universal affirmative. So is the subject distributed
Yes, yes,
and
ma'am.
is the predicate distributed?
Not distributed.
Right. So the next statement or the next premise given is particular affirmative. In this case, is the
Yes, ma'am.
subject distributed?
No.
No, ma'am.
Right. So particular
No.
affirmative, subject and predicate both are not distributed. So yes, subject is not distributed, predicate is also not distributed. So in our case, in the conclusion, the subject that is dogs is distributed? No. The predicate that is pigs, is it distributed? No. So if both are not distributed, then what kind of statement you're supposed to derive? in the conclusion?
Particular affirmative.
Right, it is supposed to be particular affirmative. So what is supposed to
Yes,
be
ma'am.
your answer or your conclusion?
Some some
Yes,
dogs some dogs are pigs.
Okay.
very correct. Some dogs are pigs. That will be your conclusion.
Yes, ma'am.
All of you clear in this example? No doubts?
Clear, ma'am. Clear, ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
Okay, so then we'll move to the next one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the next example, premise one, all cats are dogs, no cats are pigs. So again,
Ma'am,
subject, yeah, tell me.
no cats means in what will use, ma'am? Because in particular statement, some are very little, and here
No is
none
No
of
is
them.
again,
like negative.
it is of course negative at the same time. No, it is not negative.
Particular.
You're, no. It is again going under. No is nothing but none. So it is
Hmm.
universal.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. So there are few
Yes, ma'am.
synonyms for this one. The synonyms such as every, any, each, all these will come under universal. No cats are pigs. Again, this is also a part of universal statement because no
Okay, ma'am.
cats, when you're taking, let's say you're taking, for example, Venn diagram. If you're not
Hmm.
aware, these can actually be represented using Venn diagrams. So if you're taking, this is the group of cats and
Hmm.
this is the group of pigs. So when you're
Hmm.
talking about no cats are pigs, do you find any intersection happening? You
No,
cannot
ma'am.
have an intersection
No,
because
ma'am.
no cats are pigs. That is a complete set of cats can never mingle with pigs, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So that is how they turn out to be universal. You're taking the complete set as it is.
Hmm. And both are
Again,
universal statements. And cats are subject in premise 1 and dogs are predicates. In premise 2, cats are subject and pigs are predicates. And the middle term is cats. And subject is distributed and predicate is not distributed.
okay, yeah, one thing I forgot to mention when you have this, it becomes negative. I'm sorry, I told you it's supposed to be affirmative. No, it is negative because no
The
has come.
sentence is negative.
Yeah, the
Okay, ma'am.
sentence is
Okay.
universal negative, right?
Okay, ma'am. The second one is universal negative.
Yeah, the first
Sure,
one
ma'am.
is universal positive or
Affirm.
universal affirmative, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So now we have the subject in first premise as cats and
Hmm.
predicate in premise one as dogs and cats as subject in premise two and pigs as predicate in premise two. So based on this,
Yes, ma'am.
what is the middle term is cats. So what is the distribution? Universal affirmative, subject is distributed, predicate is not distributed. And universal negative, what is it?
Subject is distributed and predicate is also distributed.
Right, both are distributed. So in
Yes,
this
ma'am.
case, yeah, your conclusion should have your subject from conclusion will be dogs
Hmm.
and your predicate in the conclusion will be pigs.
Hmm.
So in our case, the subject that is dogs is not distributed and pigs are distributed. So a place where the subject is not distributed, whereas predicate is distributed is what kind of statement?
Particular negative. Particular negative.
Right.
Ma'am, I am getting confused, ma'am. At last, writing before
Clear,
conclusion,
ma'am.
pigs are distributed. How, ma'am?
Okay, we have universal negative. Yeah,
Yes,
cats are
ma'am.
also, yeah, universal negative. The subject and predicate both are distributed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. So in your second premise, what was given? No cats are pigs. So subject is
Ah,
cats,
got
that
it.
is distributed. Pigs are
Yes,
also,
yes.
pigs is a predicate and that is also distributed.
Yes, ma'am.
So it is particular negative, affirmative or negative.
Particular negative, ma'am.
Negative.
Particular negative. That is, subject is not distributed, whereas predicate is distributed. Yeah. So if it's particular, then you start with some.
Some
Yes.
some dogs are not pigs.
You're right. Some dogs are not pigs.
Yes, ma'am.
So this will be your conclusion. All of you clear till
Yes.
here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So moving on to the next one, we have premise 1, all dogs are cats. Premise 2, some cats are not pigs. So here premise 1 is universal affirmative. Because all is there, so it is universal. Right. In the second premise, it is particular negative. So dogs is your subject in premise 1 and predicate is cats in premise 1. Subject is cats in premise 2 and pigs are predicate in premise 2. So your conclusion will have subject of dogs because cats is the middle term, predicate of pigs. Right. So talking about the distribution, universal affirmative, subject is distributed or not?
Distributed, ma'am.
Predicate?
It's not distributed.
And in particular negative?
Subject is not distributed, predicate is distributed.
Right. So in your conclusion, the subject dogs will also be distributed and the predicate pigs will also be distributed. So if both are distributed, what kind of statement?
Universal negative.
Right.
That
so
is
universal,
all dogs, not pigs.
correct. All dogs are not pigs. So clear with this example, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
How about others? All of you landed in the same conclusion?
Yes, Yes, ma'am. ma'am.
Okay, then we'll move to the next one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the next example, we have premise 1, all cats are dogs. Premise 2, some cats are not pigs. So first statement is universal affirmative and the second premise is correct. It is again particular negative. In
The
this
same
case,
way, no, ma'am.
right, it is the same as the previous example, but if you have noticed, the subject is changed in premise
Yes.
2. Sorry, in premise 1. So subject here is cats and predicate is dogs in premise 1, and in premise 2, subject is cats, predicate is pigs. Right, so universal affirmative, subject is distributed, predicate is not distributed. In particular negative,
Subject is distributed, predicate is not distributed. Subject is not distributed, predicate is distributed.
yes. So your conclusion, you will have subject and predicate. And what is your subject in the conclusion?
Dogs.
And what will be your predicate in the conclusion?
Pigs.
So distribution, dogs is not distributed, that is subject is not distributed. Pigs are distributed, that is your predicate is distributed. This is what kind of statement?
That
Particular
is
negative.
negative. Particular negative only, ma'am.
Particular negative, ma'am.
Right. So it is supposed to be particular negative. In that case, what will be your answer? Some dogs are not pigs. All of you landed in the same conclusion? You're all fine with it?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
All right. So any doubts or any confusions or any clarification till here?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Sure with everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If so, then thank you so much for attending today's session. We'll be covering up another 4 more examples.
Ma'am,
Yeah, tell me.
can you send some examples in the group for us to practice
Yeah,
of
sure.
deduction?
Sure. We can do that.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
is this whole week on this topic only, ma'am?
no. By tomorrow, we'll be winding up deductions.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. So hope you guys have no doubts till here. Tomorrow, another 4 more problems and we'll be done.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
no
ma'am.
problem. Yeah, guys,
And
thank
tomorrow
you.
we'll